Hello humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. Continuing on with the saga here. Now we got a bunch of YouTube defenders out there, just putting out a false narrative, right? And this false narrative of, people are hating on these other YouTubers and it's guilt by association and stuff like that. And nothing could be further from the truth, at least from my end. First of all, I don't hate anybody. I'm just laughing at this whole situation and watching how crooked people, right, try to get out of situations, and the elastic morality of all these idiots, whether it's the YouTubers, whether it's the fans that, will give these people passes for just because they like their content, and all the other hypocrisy that goes on here, right? We're just pointing it out. It's not hate, right? It's freaking ridiculous. It's what it is. And by these people defending themselves, they do stupid shit like, this lady just did and talking about 5% kickbacks for a visa, right? But the reality is that this guy threw them under the bus, and I want everybody to listen to me. This guy is the one that put a target on their foreheads, right? Because he was trying to deflect his guilt from using those donations for other purposes other than what he stated on video. And what did he say? We'll go back to appearance fees. Once he uttered those words, right, it just threw a whole nother dynamic into this conversation, right? Because he never defined it. He never defined what appearance fees were, because they could be several things. And the first thing that comes to anybody's mind who has half a brain cell is that you're paying YouTubers to show up. Because that's the only people that are showing up to these places, YouTubers and streamers, right? The minute he did that, right, he implicated him in this, right? And by default, right, if you're getting money, if you're getting paid by a charity, right, then you have to ask yourself, what the hell are you doing? Right? If this guy's flying you in, because he not only said appearance fees, he said plane tickets, he said hotels, he said catering, right? So if this guy's setting up the table for you and giving you all these nice things, right, and then throws you under the bus by mentioning them while he's defending himself, right, and saying, I didn't use this money for this charity because I had to spend it on these fees that are associated with those YouTubers that show up on screen, or streamers, or whoever the hell it may be, right? He's throwing them under the bus, literally, right? And for people out there, whether it's YouTubers making videos about, guilt by association and it's not fair and all this other bullshit, right? Or people writing, comments that, people are, I can only speak for myself. I don't feel sorry for any of these idiots. I don't hate them. They're just comedy to me, right? Because they're turning themselves into pretzels, trying to rationalize all this bullshit. They're trying to turn themselves into pretzels in order not to say anything, right? And the inference by any logical human being is that the reason they're quiet is because they know something. Number one, the reason they are quiet and not willing to crucify this guy publicly is because his subscriber numbers aren't going down as much as you thought. So, if somebody has a smaller channel, this guy has still a 1.5 million subscribers, right? So he still has viewing power out there. And if they can gain any notoriety out of that, they'll use it, because that's what YouTubers do. That's what these people do. But this claim, this notion, right, that all these YouTubers are getting unfairly targeted by association, no, it's not that. Anybody can appear, right, on a charity event and donate their time, donate their effort, right, and do it out of the goodness of their heart, right? And that's, I think, what everybody thought. I think that's what everybody was thinking, and everybody was thinking until that point that people had done it out of the goodness of their heart, and that YouTubers were getting nothing out of this. It was Gerard himself that opened a can of worms by saying that he put all these expenses in, right? Who needs security, right? What kind of YouTuber is going to show up that needs security? I mean, the only thing that needs security in there is the food and snacks, you know, by the amounts that we're talking about here. I mean, it's 12 grand. It's $12,000, right? I mean, who's getting the benefit of this? And if you show up to these places and you're getting all these perks and you're getting flown in and you're getting food and hotels and all this other stuff, where do you think this money comes from? Did he tell you he was paying it for himself? Right? Is that why you didn't send anything? Well, these people could defend themselves and say, Gerard said he was paying this out of his own pocket and he lied to me, right? And that's why he took all these perks. But you don't see them doing that, right? That would be the easiest thing to do. If somebody was accusing me of this, right, or somebody had thrown me under the bus like this idiot did here by saying that he was paying appearance fees and paying for hotels and transportation and security and meals and all this other crap and dinners, I would have to say, wait a minute. Yes, I showed up. I partook in all this stuff. This is exactly what we did. And at that point, my understanding is the way he made it seem is that he was paying for everything out of his own pocket for his charity. I never knew that he was going to take the money from the donations themselves in order to pay for this stuff. I mean, that's what a rational YouTuber would do. Anybody that's been linked to this crap, anybody that's been associated with this shit, is exactly what they would do. But you don't see them do that. You see them be silent. You see them not speak. You see them say they're in shock, that they don't believe it, this and that and the other, right? And let me tell you guys, the way this is rolling, I think this is only the tip of the iceberg, because now that we have Gerard's brother's involvement with another YouTuber, and the way she put it on video, whether it's true or not, we don't know, right? Gerard's brother may come out and say, hey, she's lying, right? He might throw her under the bus, because the way she phrased that is not at all in the spirit of those regulations from a lay person's point of view, right? There's a lawyer that already spoke about it. We put a link to a previous video. And he's familiar with the law, right? And he's got several questions for him, right? So who's throwing who under the bus here, right? It wasn't us. It wasn't me. I never went out there and said everybody's guilty of association just because they showed up to these events. No. Any rational person who hears Gerard say that part of the expenses, part of these donations that he said were going 100% to the charities were actually used for appearance fees and food and hotels and plane flights and all that other crap, right, would absolutely know that what he's saying is this cost me money, right? This cost me money that I took from these donations in order for these people to appear. So don't look at us. Don't blame us. Nobody's getting any hate. I don't hate anybody. I think it's just ridiculous that this guy threw them all under the bus, and now they blame us for pointing out the fact that he did. All right, humans, I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.